Hello there, and we're continuing our venture into the Star Trek universe. Me and Susan are here, of course, as usual. We are talking today the 1991 movie, which saw the final appearance of all the original cast from the TV series for the very last time together. We're talking Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country. Of course, it's got Klingons. Of course, it's got Kirk's hatred for that race, and that's the downfall of Kirk and McCoy. Really, the basis for it. Put on trial, and sent away to a penal colony.
Yeah.
For the assassination of an
You know, people who say that racism doesn't get you in any trouble. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Go on.
But it all turns out it was all a bit of a frame-up by Mr. Christopher Plummer, of all people. As was it General Chang? Klingon. So yeah, so this is the original Star Trek cast's final outing, and what a ride! We will go over to Susan now for her opening thoughts on the Undiscovered Country.
Yeah, like that's what history is. The Undiscovered Country. That's what going where no one has gone before, because suddenly they've got the Klingons that they've done some work with and tried to sort out some help, and had a Khitomer Accord. Khitomer Accord is kind of like a Camp David Accords, and our Klingons are kind of like the Russians. I mean, that's why Worf's son is called Andrei Gormenko, because, that it's not enough it was a knock on the head, but it needs to be in your face with the name, everything. And let's see, the other thing about the wonderful world of this Khitomer Accords is that it came at the murder, the assassination of the Klingon Chancellor, High Commander Gorkon, played by David. What's his last name?
David Warner.
Warner. God. Yeah, that was a total. That was a total brain fade moment right there. And anyway, I'm sure that there was enough hopeful reality. Hang on a second. Okay, yeah. And there was enough reality of all these people dying in this that. I mean, it's just sad that all these people are dying in this, and like the ones that played it died. Oh my gosh, it's so sad. Can't believe it. Gorkon, David Warner just died this year, and yeah, it's just hard. I really loved this story when I first saw it, because it's so political, because it is so political minded. It was set right at the end of the Cold War, and they were talking about the Russians, and Gorkon being like Gorbachev. I mean, even the names. I mean, it's the names are like right there. It's like hitting you right on the head. And Gorbachev had a really strong idea, and Putin has reversed all of that, or most of it. Anyway, it's really sad because the response of Star Trek to this was this amazing political story of the Federation actually coming to the aid of the Klingons after so much of animosity. And what did Azit Bor say? Fostering animus. I mean, it's so good. Oh my gosh! And she was she was on a lot of things. She was on a lot of things that Alex likes, and but it was also good that after the Chancellor of the Klingon High Command passed away or was assassinated, his daughter took over. So there we are. Like the Klingons even got a female first leader before the Americans. I mean, you Brits had had the Iron Lady, and Queen Victoria, Queen Elizabeth I, Queen Elizabeth II. You guys had so many powerful women leaders. Eventually, Theresa May, and this one that's right now. What's her name?
Who?
The one who was gone for was 6 days, 7 days.
Oh,
anyway, that one, yeah. We need to know that we eventually, the America, the seat of the Federation and the Starfleet should actually have a female leader, a female president, before too long. Anyway, like that's the thing that's like in your face. This is pretty in your face, pretty political, and I really like it because of all of these things. I mean, they talk about Doctor Who being political and like Star Wars being political, like all these characters, like the third sister or whatever. This is what I thought. This is political. They're all around. They're around in that circle, like how I learned to relax and love the bomb. What was that, Dr. Good? Anyway, I'm just serious. Like it was good, and I enjoyed the whodunit. I enjoyed that. It was hard to watch it when the Vulcan gets her mind probed. Oh no, not the mind probe. No, I'm just kidding. That's from Doctor Who. But yeah, Spock basically tortures her using his Vulcan mind meld, and the mind meld is not supposed to be used that way, but oh well, he does. There's a bunch of stuff that's really triggering, politically. I mean, all these things are really like in your face kind of things, and the fact that there was even the Romulans, but the humorous thing is that the Earth, the president of planet Earth was played by Kurtwood Smith, who's like in that 70s show and that 80s show and that 90s show, and he plays that foreman because he plays a foreman, and then there's a foreman in Doctor Who, Susan Foreman, who's coming back for this next series. I bet I have my headcanon about that, but then also this whole thing about him being I don't think it's stated, but he I think that in some ways the character is supposed to be blind. I'm not 100% sure. I
Mm.
I have a question about that because of the
I
way,
think, I think it was
he doesn't react well to the appearance of that board when they're planning the extraction of Kirk and McCoy from Ruapente. I don't know. Oh, and the Klingon prison planet. Oh my gosh, with Iman. What? What? He's gonna snog some girl in prison? Yeah, Kirk's got it. He can snog anybody. I mean, he hit that guy in his nuts. I mean, like that's hilarious too. On the knees.
Yes, not everybody's genitals are in the same place.
Right. Okay. So that's my opening. Back over to you.
Um, yeah, a great movie, a great follow up to. I mean, I always say that Final Frontier, Star Trek Five is one of my favourites, but it's not many of the fans' favourites, and it didn't do too well at the cinema. So to follow up with this one, going back to all action, Klingon, politically driven.
Super political.
Yeah, yeah, a great way to end the film franchise for the original cast.
Mm-hmm.
I know some of the actors weren't too happy with some of the decisions in the script. I know Shatner didn't like the way it made Kate look too prejudiced.
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, this guy has been able to snog anything, and and he's still harboring resentments over the Klingons. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Anyway,
And I know Michelle Nichols wasn't too happy with some of the racial comments in it.
yeah.
And I know I know part of the scenes where they're trying to speak Klingon,
Oh
and
my
they've got
gosh, she's a genius. Why the hell do they need to bring out all those books?
this is it. She asked that question. She says, "In the 23rd century, why have we got these old books?
Oh my god.
Why are we looking for books? Surely you can just press a button and it'll translate."
Yeah, or just use your little handheld device, plug it in, ask for it not to be scripted in Klingon script, but in Latin script, and then speak it in the Latin, and the fact that her pronunciation was all wrong. I mean, this is Uhura, who really was a linguistic genius.
Yeah, she was.
Uh,
Also, this movie also was DeForest Kelly's last movie before his retirement. Till he passed away in '99. So it was just it was the original cast saying goodbye. I mean, at the end, when the credits are rolling, you get the signatures. The handwritten signatures. You think that's a bit of a tearjerker there, knowing that they won't be back together.
Swan song, yeah.
Yeah. As you mentioned, David Warner playing the Klingon ambassador, which was strange because he was in the last movie as someone.
Oh yeah, he can be in anything, but
yeah,
he has to play every character in every movie. But you know what the trouble is that we just lost him this year, and that just sucks so bad. Lost him and Michelle Nichols this year.
But also, he wasn't playing a villain.
No.
And David Warner made a sort of a living. Most, I would say, 8% of his characters in movie were the bad guys. This one, you'd think, oh, it's a Klingon. But no, he wanted peace. Why he was killed by the Shakespeare quoting Christopher Plummer. Klingon quoting Shakespeare all the time.
And Plummer's daughter is going to be in the new season of Picard.
Oh yeah, Amanda.
Amanda's coming back, but Christopher passed away too this year.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, I think.
A couple of years ago. God.
Yeah,
Time is smushed together. Sorry.
yeah. I mean, a great character, General Chang, but I don't think he was used as much as they could have used him. I mean, it was at the meal, they sat around the table, and then the only other time you see him really is a court scene, and then it was on the bed of prey.
Oh yeah, and the court scene. I mean, what? Uh, Kirk and McCoy get a lawyer played by Worf,
Well, played
and
he was playing Worf's, was it great grandfather?
yeah. Anyway, uh, and then the prosecution is the general.
Yeah,
I don't know. That was a little weird.
it was a bit weird, but you could say a great framing, but
Yeah.
you knew straight away when the photon torpedoes fired on the Klingon ambassador ship, who was behind it. Straight away, I knew straight away. But then the giveaway was in the court scene with the Kirk recording.
Yeah.
Because who else was in that scene when he said that?
Right.
Kim Cattrall, the evil woman.
Yeah. Sex in the sea wing. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, great movie, as you say, Iman as well. You, you knew straight away that wasn't right. A shapeshifter who can change into a small child to get out of the shackles. What?
And then a goof was the very next scene when they're walking through that ice corridor.
Yeah.
The shackles are back on. Oops.
Editing.
Editing.
But and also as well, you got Sulu as a captain of his own ship.
I know. That was cool.
I don't know if this was done for any reason because of his fallout with Shatner.
Or a backdoor pilot.
Well, I don't know, but not to have any scenes with them because I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or it was written that way. I don't know. But he was never sort of with all the other original cast, was he, in this one?
No.
So his scenes were all filmed separately.
Mm-hmm.
With
Christian Slater.
Yeah. He gets everywhere.
No, that was so funny. I was like, hello, what are you doing in this show? Anyway.
So,
and then he has one line, and it's just so funny.
Yeah. But yeah, a great movie. Which I say brings peace between the Federation and the Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and they rely on the Khitomer Accords for a lot of the follow-up stories. A lot of the Klingon stories talk about the Khitomer Accords, and state that is why this is good and this is bad and this works and that doesn't work, and just interesting. It's really kind of a cool setup for the thing.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say before we venture down into the final say?
I really enjoyed the other part that I really enjoyed was the part right before and right after they were beamed off Ruapente.
Mm-hmm.
Iman's character shapeshifts into Kirk, and unlike all the other characters that had her voice, this one had his voice.
Yeah, and what was the line? It was, "I can't believe I kissed you," and then what was that?
Must have
That
been must have been your fondest
life,
wish.
yeah, your lifetime wish or something to kiss
Yeah.
you.
Oh my gosh. And then there's all and then the the warden comes up with, or the governor, in your case, in the British case, the governor comes up and he's got his cool looking snaggletooth dog, and he's about ready to spill the beans on the whole thing, because he was going to kill those two right away, and with the same vaporization gun. But it's really funny that they beam him out right then. But then the other thing that's really funny is, do you want to go back? And Kirk's like, no.
No, no.
And McCoy's like, no, it's freaking cold. I was freezing my willies off.
Well, also, we also got the actor from Deep Space Nine play Dodo.
Oh, Rene Auberjonois. Yeah.
Yeah, he played well. Spoilers. Would be assassin.
The Klingon who was supposedly going to be killing the president in Kittimer.
Yeah. So
yeah.
A lot of famous people in this.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Odo got some, and he's gone too. Oh.
Yeah. There's quite a few people in these movies what are no longer with us. I mean,
but I just can't believe that, Christopher Plummer, David Warner, and God, why am I having trouble? I keep wanting to call him David Bowerman. just gonna have to start doing that. I'm not gonna just think it. I'm gonna just start calling him that, because I can't with this Parkinson's. I just can't. The words just, they're gone. And I'll have to run my way around him. So if this is David Bowerman, then that's going to be David Bowerman, at least as long as I can remember that. And let's see, so David Bowerman and Christopher Plummer and Nichelle Nichols, and it's just super sad. Oh my gosh.
I mean, out of the original cast, there's only 3 remaining.
I know.
They're
Shatner, Takei, and Koenig.
Yeah. All the rest have passed.
So sad. My gosh.
It comes to everyone in the end, but
yeah,
it's still sad when
and this grief that we're experiencing is kind of like a Greek tragedy or a Shakespearean tragedy. But wouldn't you rather have a Shakespearean tragedy in the original Klingon? I mean, isn't it? You kind of wonder, like, Shakespeare was stealing all of his great works from this Klingon.
Chang's final words: "To be or not to be."
And then the whole ship blows up. Oh my gosh! Target that explosion and fire! I love that. That was great.
So yeah. So anything else before we go to final set?
Yeah, I'm this. Oh, one more thing. This is the first appearance of the Trill symbiote known as Dax.
Is it
the guy with the big hand feet?
Yeah.
His name is Dax. So I mean, this is the first I mean, he isn't a human. That's not a human. So it's not Curzon Dax or any of those other ones that we heard so much about in Deep Space Nine. But this is like Curzon Jadzia or Ezri. This one is Dax with hand feet in
And if the shoe fits.
and if the shoe fits. and you know, that's the other thing that's really cute is the Klingons have taken over from where you know, Chekhov used to say everything, you know, this was a Russian story, Russian truth, Russian this, Russian that. And now he's a little more chilled out about everything being Russian, but now the Klingons are into it. So like let's just move, like it's just turn everything into Shakespeare. I don't know, whatever. It's great. It's great. It's just fun. It's a fun movie.
Let's slip the dogs of war.
Oh,
So, shall we go final scene score?
sure.
Okay then, over to you.
All right. Well, due to its place in my heart as a political story and its unbelievable amounts of little bits of fan service for a lot of different things and random things, like really random things like Klingon blood looking like Pepto-Bismol or bismuth fluid or whatever, and then pink bismuth, and then all of the, I mean, all the other random things like Dax and like shooting a kettle on the stove and the kettle disappears, but the mashed potatoes stay.
Mm-hmm.
And then why do they have a stove in the? Why do they have a full commercial kitchen in the Enterprise? When they don't need to, they have not replicators, but the other ones, food synthesizers.
That's it, yeah.
Much like the first Doctor's TARDIS does. I don't know, like you could find everything in there. All the weird stuff, gravity boots, you know, the Klingons being really bad at warfare in space. I mean, come on, that's funny.
They're the stormtroopers of science fiction.
Yeah, they're not. They can't be. They're actually really fucking amazing, especially with the Battle. So just give them some fucking knives and shit, and don't worry about the. Anyway, so and the racism, the casual racism, and then there's all this fucking politics. It's just this story. I mean, it's got problems. It's got random things. It's got weird things. It's full of all sorts of good stuff. And if you just watch it like once, you'll miss a shitload. But if you really dig in and watch it like 5 or 6 times, by the 5th or 6th time, you'll see it and you'll see all the good stuff. And then by the 100th time, like me, maybe you won't be tired of any of it. I mean, I'm not tired of any of it. It's good watching at the 100th visit from, you know, your co-host here, Susie. I'm just loving it. I love Undiscovered Country. And I think that there's so much to be said for Nicholas Myers. I think that's who directed it.
Nicholas.
Nicholas Meyer, yeah.
Yeah. He did Wrath of Khan, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and he's a good director, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan of this particular edition of the original team. I liked the way that that even Spock said, "Well, I've been dead before." I mean, whoa! You just come out with that, like.
Well, also as well, where he knocks the phaser out of what's in Cottrell's character's hand.
Yeah.
That was anger.
Yeah.
But he don't usually show emotions.
Yeah, he like there was all sorts of stuff like in the book from this that I read. I used to read all of them. Up until maybe the year 2000, I read every single book that went along with the original series. I think that they said that he kind of felt like that Spock kind of felt like he was actually raping her, violating her like that. Like he felt like really dirty after fucking giving her that mind meld because he'd gone into some shit with her in her mind that he was not supposed to see. And he was just, he was just like stirring her brain up. He was mind probing her. And like, that's right. That is like, no, not the mind probe. Like that whole thing. I mean, like, and the way that she was responding to it, like Cottrell did a really good job during that scene of showing just kind of what he was doing to her. Yeah. And I mean, people not understanding that moment was so serious for Spock. Like he really felt dirty and gross after that. And so anyway, like that was pretty cool acting on those two part. That was a tough scene, and they did knock it out of the park for that one. And yeah, I'll give it 10 invisible Klingon bird of praise out of 10.
Cool.
Yeah. And I mean I know it's got problems, but I mean
doesn't every
single one of these things that we love have a whole shitload of problems?
But you love them even for them.
Love them so much. Yes.
For me, great movie to have it as a swan song for the original cast. Everyone's given something to do in this movie. It's more of a Kirk McCoy though, sort of togetherness while they're in the prison. There's comedy, there's action. What more do you need from a Star Trek movie? As you say, you've got the political side of it, as in the racism to put into the mixing pot. A great movie. Stands up to date as well. I say this was 1991. This is now 2023. Still watchable.
Yeah.
So
30. What's that? 32 years later.
Yeah.
Oh, don't panic, Lee. Don't panic.
So I'm gonna give it 10 bottles of Romulan ale.
Oh, and here they are doing something illegal, and Kirk says, let's make an edict that we don't serve this shit at proper functions. I'm like, the hell, you got away with it. Just don't broadcast the fact that you're serving it. Don't be an idiot. Oh my god.
Yeah, so that is it's a fun movie. It is a fun movie. If you like your sci-fi, if you like Star Trek, if you like Spock Kirk, give it a watch. And if you the love of Klingons, it's all in there. So that's our little review of Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country. So Susan, Susie, So, whatever. Well, I'll just call you Mr. Susie. Thank you for joining me talking about this movie. You guys out there, leave a comment. You know how it's done. It's just type words in there. Let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to join us, we're Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Insta. Just leave us a message. I would like to join because I'm geeky. I'll do geeky and 18 plus. Yeah, you've got to be 18 plus. That's all we ask of you. Please also the subscription button on YouTube. Make sure it's turned on because then you'll get notified every time we put a video up. I think that's it. Is it, Susan? Right. I can't do this one, so Susan will have to do it for me. Oh, there you go. Oh, she does too. She can do it with both. No, I can't even do it with one.
Don't worry. Just say the words.
I can do that. That's it.
I know you can do that. The first one.
Like that. Well, anyways, you see, we just have a laugh.
Oh my God, Lee, you're so cool.
We have a laugh. We don't take ourselves too seriously. Not like other people in this line of business. Is it a business or is it just fun? It's not business, no. So until next time, guys, please be safe. Enjoy your science fiction. Enjoy your horror. Enjoy your fantasy. Enjoy your audio dramas. Enjoy your romantic comedies. And everything else under the sun. Because we love everything what we talk about. Sometimes we don't agree on it. But hey ho. Wouldn't it be boring if we agreed on everything? So until next time, see you later.